This video is going to show you how to renovate your own swimming pool. Hi, welcome to Roy Tiles, and I'm Roy. And today in this video I'm going to be showing you how to renovate your own swimming pool. This one is a good one to show you because it's a freeform pool. There aren't any straight, I've got one straight side. So there's a lot more involved in this, and this one here is a quartz-on pool. This is my first time I've encountered this. I usually do marble sheen pools, but the owner was telling me that his feet were getting very rough. No, it was very rough when he walked in the pool, and every time he vacuumed, he got these little bits of grit coming up. And when I emptied the pool, I didn't realise it, but all of the quartz-on was loose on the walls, and I had to get this scrubbing brush here, and I just went around the whole pool like this, so to take all the loose quartz-on off, and there was a lot, believe me. Now the next thing you have to do is take the fittings off. Now they just pop off because these are eyeballs. That's the only way they're put on. Now with the lights, and then you lift it up because it's on a little clip like that. See, it's sitting on this clip from in here, and that can be taken up, put up there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is show you. This is the best. You have to find all the drummy spots where everything's loose. Best way is with a hammer. You just go around the floor like this, and can you hear that? That is bad. You have to smash that out, and then I've got a little tool that I can, like a little jackhammery thing, which I'll get now. I've got it sitting here. You may not have one of these. You can use a hammer and a bolster, but whoop, got to go on hammer. Yeah. Quite drummy. Now look, that's where it stopped. All the drummy stuff you take off till it stops. And you'll go over the whole floor like that, and you'll find it's everywhere. You'll get good patches, you'll get bad patches. It happens with every pool. You've got to take it off, and once you've taken it off, you've got to fill it up. Now you can do that either by painting some chemicrete on it to bond, and then putting the sand and cement finish on it, or if it's not too thick, like this is not very thick, I can just do some glue, and I can put glue over that, and that'll be good. Okay, now let's suppose we've done all of that now, we're all ready to tile. First thing I got to tell you is the tiles. I've been over the tiles with a flat blade to take a glazing off. I use all cordless tools because I do it all the time, but these are fairly cheap to buy with a cord. I use Makita, an angle grinder. This is a 5-inch one. Anyway, what I'm going to do is put this blade on, which I call a flat blade. It's impregnated with diamonds, and that just fits straight on there. Hold that like that and tighten it on. I'll show you what I did. First of all, put my glasses on. Now, just coming across like that, just as you can see, it takes the sheen off of the side. And that's all you really have to do. And with today's glues, you don't have to do that, but I kind of like doing it. I know then that the tile is going to stick there quite securely. Okay, now this is probably your most valuable tool, so buy one. because this is what we're going to use for cutting all the tiles. I'll take this blade off now. And this is the one that I'm going to use to cut tiles. It's a diamond blade, and that goes on there like that, and you're ready. Now that would be used for cutting the tiles. I'll show you. I've got a tile here. If I have it on here, put the glasses back on. I'll cut this corner to corner and you'll see what it's like. Now you can see, very easy, it gives you a very nice even cut. You're going to be using it a lot in the pool. We're going to be cutting the floor, we'll be cutting the walls, we'll be cutting splices in the walls as we go around, and I'll show you that later. So that's that part. Now you're ready to tile. You've done all the prep work. Now this is where we start, at the skimmer. Now you'll notice that, and this is just about every pool's the same. If I put a tile from across the face of the skimmer, a full tile hits there and there, right? So what I've done, that'll be my first tile. That'll go there. I've drawn a plumb line straight down. That way I won't go wrong. The top is level, I know that. What I'll be doing then is tiling this way, around as far as the step. I'll stop there, then I'll go the other way, all the way around, back to the step, and I'll stop again, and if there's going to be a cut, that's where the cut's going to be, where it's least obvious. And when I get there, if it's only a little cut, I can expand the tiles out across the step without upsetting anything. Now this is another part of the prep. We're going to take the tiles out of the box, take the paper out between the tiles, and then put them back in the box. You'll see why in a second. We'll just cut these off. These knives are very handy. I use it all the time in the pool. Put that there. Now what you do now, you flip the box over, you hold the base so it doesn't fly out, like that. Organise it and then just slip that off. Now you can see, this is what we got between each tile. Each sheet of tile has got the paper. Now the paper is designed so that it doesn't stick the tiles, but every now and again you get tiles that stick. So you take the paper out, you turn the tiles over there. Yeah, we've got one sticking. Now you'll find you're going to have boxes and boxes of tiles to do this, so if you've got a kid that wants to earn a bit of pocket money, it's not a hard job. Just show them how to do it and leave them alone. In a couple of hours he'll say, oh, where's my money? And that way you can get on with something else. Of course, once you've got the tiles out of the box and back into the box, can you imagine if you didn't do this, what life would be like in the pool when you go to use a tile and you've got paper, it's going to fly around everywhere. Okay, whoops, lost the tile. See, the paper doesn't always work. bucket there for the rubbish. See that tile, see how it's stuck to the netting? I'll put that in there. And the lucky last. Okay, that's that. You have to do that with all of your tiles. Then you're ready to start tiling. Okay, now I'm going to run through the tools you're going to need. Of course, that's the main tool that spreads the glue. This is the notch trowel. I prefer to use the one with the sawtooth. It's much more user friendly than square notches, and the tiles go on the wall better. That's that. When I do the floor, I'll be able to use my own tool. Well, this is called the extreme spreader. It's the same size notches as that one. It's equivalent to a 5mm notch trowel, and you do this by bending the wings, right? And the other wing, make it 90 degrees. And the other wing, you go in the opposite direction, and then you have a tool which you can regulate to whatever size tile you're going to use. This one you'll find are set to a sheet of tiles, and it's probably going to be there. But you'll see more of that when I do the floor. Now I thought I'd bring this one in as well, and this is equivalent to a 10mm notch trowel. When I say notch trowel, I'm talking the square notch trowel. This works exactly the same way, and this is the tool you'll see me using when I did the how to lay the large format tiles without using a levelling compound. Okay, now as I said before, the angle grinder, your most valuable tool, you're going to be using that all the time, and with a diamond blade on it. And like I say, you don't have to go cordless, but because I do it all the time, I do. A gauging trowel, this is a bit dirty, but it does the job. The knife, you've seen that in action undoing the boxes, but you'll see I cut the ends of tiles off when they're to size them up. Of course, the glasses you'll need. The level, I only used that once, and that was just to plumb the line down. But we will be using it later on when we're doing some more work on the steps. Marking pen, very, very handy. This is the flat blade. You don't necessarily have to have one. Very handy though if you want to scuff up the tiles like I did before. We've got a chalk line for when we do the floor. We'll flick a chalk line so that we know how our first line of tiles is going to go. The hammer, you've seen that in action, going around finding the nasty bits on the floor. Now this is for grouting. This is a grouter. Don't go for just a straight spread one. This is better. It's got it's very flexible. It's much easier for going around curves, and it's what we use all the time. Okay, and that is about it. Oh, apart from the rest of the tools. Now here's a hook. Now the hook I use with the trowel, I scoop up the glue from the bucket onto the hook, and then I can carry all the glue I need for that moment around and use it from there. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is, this is very handy too, you can't live without it, a drill with a paddle. This one I've had for many years. It's great, but you'll need it for mixing your glue, or thin set, whatever you want to call it, and also for mixing your grout. So you must have one. You'll use it a lot. But the money you're saving by not paying a tiler, man, you can buy all these tools 20 times over. There's another one to come, which is my favourite tool, and it's the wash boy. Basically it's a bucket, and it's got a little grid on the bottom to keep it off of the floor, and you do it just like that. It's got square cutouts, so you'll find that when you do your grouting and things like that, all the sediment from the grout does not stick in the joints, and that that sponge will stay good for job after job. Probably get about 3-4 jobs out of it. Okay, most of my daughter working with me, and she used to take it home to wash her kitchen floors. She thought it was better than a bucket and mop. Okay, buckets, you'll need buckets. 20 litre buckets, I buy these from Barnacle Bills. They always sell them. Some tops are $4, some are $5. And they come with a lid if you want a lid. But you'll need at least 3, maybe 4 buckets. One for mixing the glue, one for standing the drill in, you know, to clean it, and one for just clean water to add to the glue. So at least 3, maybe 4. Okay, now the glue, or thin set as you like, that we're using today is Chemgrit Super. It's made by Construction Services, and there's a Chemcrete additive that goes with it. This is an acrylic bonding agent, but they specify on the bag that for each bag you have to have a litre of this. Just makes it a little bit more usable and flexible. Yeah. This, let's put some in here. Of course, I'm not doing a full bag, so I'll put this in. And a bit more water. Okay. And I'll tip the bag in like that. Hopefully that's the right amount. Now here's the paddle. If you can see that inside, have a look inside there. If you can see that, it's still a little bit wet, so I'll put a bit more powder with it. And I'll show you the consistency I want. And that's about it. It's kind of like a creamy butter custard, yeah. So we just let that stand for a few minutes, and then we'll remix it and it's ready to use. So this is what I was talking about. You put the glue on the hook, so you can have a reasonable bit like that. Now you've got everything at your fingertips, and I spread glue for 2 rows of tiles at a time. Just have to guess, something like that. Now there's my plumb line, which I'll have to stick to. Yeah, I think that's about far enough. You'll get the hang of using this little object. It's not hard, but as you can see, it's so much easier, and keep going to the bucket to get a bit of glue out. We'll leave it go at that. We'll start laying. And hang on, stop there if you like. I could get the tiles. Okay. Now what we'll do now, we'll tip these out of the box. I'll put these to one side. I'll put that down with me. And I'll put these here like this. I'll have them this way up, and I'll show you in 2 seconds why. Okay, the reason why I tipped them upside down is so that when I grab them and bring them, they're the right way up to put straight onto the wall. Okay, if they were the other way, I'd have to drag them, turn them around to put them on the wall. So this time I just go to there and put these up here. I'll get the knife and I'll cut this one here so that he can go back to there. Okay. And the next sheet goes on here. Just even them up. And then we go on down the wall like that, keeping at that joint. Every now and again you have to twist tiles a bit because of the way they're made. Now, he's going to put one strip more on that bottom. I just want to put one more strip on the bottom of the wall, right? Cut it off like that. And I can put it on the bottom because eventually I will be cutting that bottom off evenly around there. Okay, so I'll probably have a cut going through here, through there to create the bottom of the wall. Okay, now what I do now, give them all a bit of a bang on. I've already put them on the wall like I like, you know, with the hand. Now this is just a little bit, make sure they're all sitting nice and flat. Okay. Now, I can now scrape off any excess. I always try to be methodical about this and do everything, not leave it go till it's rock hard, then try and get it off. So now we're going to go over this. Now what I've had to do was, when I took this fitting off, the water was pouring out of it because it's still in the pipe. So I got myself a bung and put a bung in there. You don't need to do that, it's just that I couldn't wait for the water to stop. For the moment I'll only go to this point and show you how we do this cut. Right, let me get a couple of tiles. This is, this one goes on. Now I can see that's going to be a tile. It's going to, these two tiles here are going to be taken off on the bottom. So this is what I do. Let's take this, cut them off. Okay. I'll put that on like that. And then one goes underneath. And you don't have to rush at this job, you can take your time. Now this is where the wash boy is going to come in handy. I'm going to clean this up shortly. Yeah, so those two tiles there have to come off. Sure I've got enough glue for this journey. Okay, now there's a pen. These are the 4 tiles that came off. I'll take the netting off the back. This one is just a little bit to come off there. Now, as you can remember, the fitting that goes back on has got a big flange, so it doesn't have to be a special cut. Okay? So put your glasses on. That goes in there, like that. So I'm giving it a little bit of room. Now this one goes from about there to there. It's mostly, like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect. Sorry.
Close up a bit actually.
Yeah. Now this one. Let's go like this. Let's go like that. What I do, I score around first. Now I can go like this. I'll try it out and see if I have to go a little bit better. Yes, I can see it's a little bit tight there and there, just mostly on this bottom bit here. I'm just going to trim a bit here, okay? That'll do. It's not pretty, but when the flange goes on there, it'll cover all that. Okay, now if you see that this is tightening up here, this is because the wall's on a curve. Therefore, we're going to have to splice these tiles as we go down. I'll put this on here dry so you can see what it's going to be like. Not very much on this one, it only just overlaps, but it is overlapping, right? Now, I can either cut that in situ because I've only just realised it's there, or I can mark this tile and cut it, go from there. I'll tell you what I might do there, just in that one spot. See how the next one goes in there. That seems to be all right there. Our big splicing is going to be down the bottom. What I'll do, I'll just cut that and just humour that joint there. Okay. Now, this is the point which will splice. I'll take a strip off the bottom because the floor is coming uphill. I'll put this one on just loosely like that, okay, and you'll see with this next tile how it's coming across over the top of it like this. See, that comes over the top. I will now mark that. I'll find my pen, here we go. If I mark this like that, I can take this one off and cut it over here. Okay, and we put this one on, just like this. And this one's now correct. Now I've got a bit of glue under, a bit of chipped tile under there. Now this other one, what I'd like to do is lift this one up, which it doesn't really want to do. I'll leave it down. I'll mark it the other way. Okay, that's going to be from there to nothing up here. Okay, I'll take this up and we'll cut this one. Okay, now this goes on here, like this, it goes in there. And this is what happens. You find this all the way around your paw as you get a curve, so you're going to have to splice the cut in. It's not hard, just got to do it. Now, I'll take the excess off the bottom and I'll wash the wall. Like I say, never let this go too long, because once it's gone hard, it's hard to get off. And I'll take this off as well for the moment. Have to wash the wall. And if you do it frequently, it's going to be easy, and I'm using the edge to get into the grout joint. I never normally go more than about 2-4 rows of tiles before I wash, because then it's easier to get it off. Once it goes hard on the tile, it's harder. Hi, we're back again here. Now, as you can see, I've done a lot of progress here, but there's quite a few things I wanted to point out to you, and one of them is the steps. So I've left this bottom step untiled, and I'm going to show you how I did the rest of them. The rest of them, they look good. Very tricky when you've got all these curves. So this is how you do it. What I do is I line it up with the line on that step, so everything is going to travel in the same direction. And just do it by eye. And I put that there like that. And then this other tile, I'll put in where it's going to fit, just like that. I'm overhanging the front, because what I'm going to do now is mark where the tiles come at this leading edge, just like this. And yeah, just through there. And then I'll cut those and place them back in dry, and then I'll be able to show you how we do the rest of it. It's not hard, it's just tricky. Okay, now I'm going to go and cut these. I'll take this one first and cut this. Just follow the line. Now, I told you you'd be needing this, so I do hope you got out and bought yourself one. Because I don't know whether you noticed, but if you look around the pool, everywhere there's a corner, there's going to be a splice in the tiling, just so everything fits together. You need it. Okay. Now we'll put this one back in dry, like that, so I know where this one's going to go when it goes back in. And you always cut with the good side on the left, so you can see where you're cutting, and it's going to be nice and smooth. Okay, now that all fits in there like that. That little piece will go in there. Now, to do the rest, I'll show you what I do. I take a piece of cardboard. This is the end of the box. So all I'm going to do here is just cut a strip of it. Okay. I have this strip of cardboard now. Now with this, I can put it like that, in that line, and just mark there with the joint, and the next one there, the next one will be there, and again there, until we get to the end of this sheet. What I'm going to do is transfer these marks onto this tile. Now that was my first mark, so that's where I've got to cut from there. Now I go to my second mark, and now the third mark. Now the fourth mark, now the fifth mark, gone and gone. Okay, now I'll put a little dot on that so I know which side I'm going to cut for. Cut there if you like. Alright, now remember I put the dot on the tile, there it is. That was so that I know this section is the one I want to keep, not that. So, this is on the left hand side of my cutting. Now incidentally, I've got a small tile here. I want to try and keep that on the netting, so I'll put my finger on it. You won't touch yourself, just keep away from the saw. If it's too small, don't do it. But I just want to make sure that stays with us. There we go, and it stays. So, okay. Okay, now I'll put this in, lay it all dry. That way I can see exactly where I am, what I've been doing. And I can now cut this side using this end. I'll just come around, I'll go there, again, there, and then there. Actually that is almost, I've marked that as 1, 2 and 3, so I know what I'm doing when I come to now I'm going to use the offcuts to transfer these marks. Number 1 was that little one there, okay. Number 2 was that one, it seemed to have come backwards. Number 3 was that one. Number 4. So we started to come around. Hang on, I think I missed one. Yes, I had. There it is. And that's just to the corner. And there's my dot. And that'll be that piece up there. I'll just cut a little piece off of that. Right, now as you can see we've got them all in there in position. What I'm going to do now is take them all up and leave them where they're going to go back in order, and then we'll glue it and put them in, okay? Making sure that we know exactly how they're going to go back in. Bit is loose, you can go there. This bit is on the end. Just these little pieces here and that's it. Okay, now I'm ready to do this, so I've got my glue and I've got my trowel. I'll just put this on here. Now it's important when you do this that you always run over your hand across this joint, because you want to make sure that there is nothing sharp. You know, because you've got cut tiles here, so if there's nothing sharp, you're happy. A little bit sharp there, so I'll make sure I push that down harder. Okay, that's done. So what I've done, and I'll do it one more time, just run the sponge over it, and that's all done. Now we can move on, and you're going to see now, I'm going to show you how we tile the rest of the floor. Now you'll be able to see that I've started, I just drew a line straight down the pool, parallel with this wall, because this wall is my only straight wall. So I'm going to make that parallel with that. Everything else I've had to cut into the walls over there. We tiled further than we wanted to be down, so then I could nicely cut a nice line all the way around. I wanted to show you, these are the holes that we patched up. When we found our drummy spots, we had to take it out. Left us holes there, we patched this up with mortar. So they're all ready to go now. And I'll show you how we tiled the rest of it. Obviously with the super spread, this is the UltraSpreader. I think we went through that before. What I'm going to do is put one sheet on dry in that line so that I can see where I want to start. Now I'm going to put this glue out here. Trick is not to overfill the spreader, because that'll go a long way. Put that here. Just make sure that it's right up into the corner, to the edges. And just keeping it against that tile. And just come on down. That. So to about there. Now this sheet is dry, but it shows me where I can tile to. And I'll use that now. Now, you think I'm not putting a lot of pressure on the tile, but I'll just show you. I'll lift this up to show you that we have got the coverage that you're going to need. Okay, there's plenty of glue on those tiles. Just line them up with these lines and you won't go wrong. As you can see, the glue isn't terribly stiff, it's nice and juicy, I like to call it, like a custard. It flows nice and easily that way. And with the coves, this demands a flat floor, so when the floor starts to cove up, you can't really use it. So I'll go just another one, maybe two tiles, and then that's it for that row. Go to there. I'll just put this glue up here, out of my way. I have to wash where we lifted those tiles. And I've got to tell you now, this is why another beautiful thing about this tool is that there is absolutely no excess to clean up. It's exactly the size of the tile. If I wanted to make it bigger, I can. I can make it sit for 1.5 sheets of tiles. Right now, we've got this floor down, we've got the wall cut, and now we can cut the floor into the wall. It's quite simple. It's a repeat of what we just did on the step. I just mark this where I see the wall. Sometimes it's hard to see. There, there, there. Okay, now I'll cut this. Now hopefully the lines are correct. Okay, we'll try it and see if that's the right cut. Amazing. Okay, that's that one. I'll just take a little bit more off of that. It's a little bit proud. Now this is how you do it. Now, because you've got a cut there, going against the full top, going against the cut, as you can see, it's a little bit proud, sitting dry, it's a bit proud of these tiles because there's a touch of glue underneath. See the glue that's still there? What I'm going to do, and this is a good thing to do, is just go around the perimeter with the saw, just maybe evening off that bit of glue. Otherwise you might find that you'll have a sharp bit there right where you're going to put your foot. Okay, you can do that the whole pull. Now when I put this on, it sits down. You can see it's sat right down now. These are a bit low to that, which is good. So when I put the glue there, they'll be flush. And that is just about how you tile a pool. I think we covered everything you need to see. The rest of it is just putting the fittings back on, putting the lights back on. That's just a couple of raw plugs. And grouting, that's it. Just about all done. This wall here, when we come close to the wall, instead of having to cut and put pieces in like that, we'll place out the pieces against the wall, mark a line all the way down the wall, and that would be parallel. Cut that off, take those pieces off and put the full pieces in. It's simple. Okay, thanks for watching my video. Goodbye.